Well, it's been nearly 2 months since destructive storms ripped through two South Dakota towns.
Highmore and Huron were hit by severe weather just days apart. In tonight's Eye on Kelloland, Sydney Hoyer revisits the town to see where they're at in the rebuilding process.
On June 29th, wind gusts up to 131 miles per hour swept through Highmore. Over 80% of all buildings were damaged and some were destroyed. Weeks later, the impact of the storm is still seen on every block. Windows are boarded, trees are cut down, and roofs are damaged.
A lot of the cleanup of the trees and stuff, a lot of that kind of stuff is done. The buildings are coming along a little bit slower because you got to work with the insurance companies. The people have to figure out what their policies are covering, and then too, it's just with the sheer amount of damage that we have, it's just getting the contractors here.
In the aftermath of the storm, the community got right to work by clearing the streets and picking up branches.
With as much chaos as we had, those initial, especially first 8 hours, were very hectic. But even our own citizens, the people that came to help, everybody worked so well together. There wasn't any of, I want to do this. It was just like, where do you need me?
But Highmore residents were just one group of people that pitched in to help.
The sheer volume of volunteers that we had, not only from our own citizens, but all the crews that came in from surrounding areas.
Aside from the visible damage, the effects of the storm linger in other ways.
Mother Nature has been on a roll this summer, and so everybody does get a little anxious when the storm warnings come out, because I don't think we're quite ready to experience that again.
And although life has gone back to normal for almost everyone, there are still displaced families.
We do have families that are still out of their homes. They have not been able to get back in them, so obviously that has been a stressful situation.
Over in Huron, staff at Northwestern Energy were also part of the team that responded to Highmore when the town was without power.
That took out the whole system, as well as some of the towns to the west and the north as well. The good thing is that it didn't keep going. The storm kind of went away after that.
Glanzer and his team also noticed the massive community response.
Somebody's got a skid steer, they're going to be in there. There's chainsaws all over the place, and these are just the local people taking care of themselves. And that's really one of those things where we're going to feed off of what they're doing. We're trying to get their power back on, and they're getting their town cleaned up.
But just days after restoring power in Highmore, another storm was brewing, this time in Huron. All of Huron lost power when a storm with 100-mile-per-hour winds hit.
60 some odd poles laying on the ground. You've got a lot of work to do, not to mention everything in town, the distribution system, trees on power lines, things of that nature.
Glanzer not only responded to the storm as part of Northwestern Energy, he's also a Huron resident.
When the community comes together, they tell me the praise, and then I get to put that back to our guys. And quite honestly, the community was so behind us and very, very appreciative of the work we were doing.
The visible effects in Huron are not quite as severe as in Highmore, but the storm still left its mark. Some buildings on the north side of town are still not repaired. As both communities continue to rebuild and heal, they're looking back on how people showed up for each other.
The spirit of working together was just amazing. There's no other word to say it, but it was just amazing.
With Eye on Kelloland, I'm Sydney Hoyer.
Between residential, commercial, and city property in Highmore, officials estimate over $34 million of damage.